Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the FPL Affairs podcast, the podcast that strips back and lays bare our season-long love affair with FPL. In this video, the FPL Affairs Swan, aka the Differential King, on the All in Football FPL show, shares with you the players who he believes will be this week's Differential Kings. How many will there be? Do you own any of them? Has he missed any? Before we get started, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel for all of our content, and if you hit that bell, you should get notifications every time we release something new. Anyway, enough of my small talk. Barry, get cracking.
And there's Mo Salah. There goes Haaland. He's on his way again. He's hungry. He's scored. Ice cold precision from Palmer. Kayo Saka. That is a diamond of a goal.
Hello everyone and welcome to Differential Kings game week 7. So this week we're going to look at obviously the all in football differential five-a-side, see how obviously teams got on that. Also we're going to look at the results for Differential Kings for game week 6 and form versus fixture, and then also look at the game week 7 form and fixture players that I've picked out that I believe is going to have a good game week. So you're with me, the All in Football FPL show, Differential King, and the FPL Affairs Swan, and we're going to get cracking and see if you like the suggestions I make. So the differential five-a-side. So Alex, the self-proclaimed FPL guru, ran away with it, to be honest. He got 19 points. That was all down to obviously Doku getting the 10 points, who I drafted in. And also was one of the differential kings for game week 6. So drafted him in. He's got 10 points. He obviously looked really electric in the last couple of game weeks as well. And obviously he got the majority of them points. And obviously the rest was obviously appearance points, and Petrovic got the save. The other two, so including myself and Voice of the People, Scott, we struggled. We only managed to get like appearance fees, appearance points, and a lot of them was rotation risk. So Dude Bro picked up another booking and got suspended. Xavi Simmons got a booking. Foden got a booking, who my differential team actually triple captained. So that was obviously a waste of a chip. Gibbs White was rotation risk due to obviously playing in Europe, and obviously he started on the bench, and Mikolenko got booked as well. So a bad performance from that. So hopefully we can replicate that. Obviously the people that joined in and played, it was a tussle at the top. Obviously at the self-proclaimed FPL guru Alex, he obviously won it, but obviously the two behind that was the FPL Affairs Hippo Kieran, who got 17, and the All in Football FPL, the Egg Chaser Phil, he managed to get 17 as well. So that went down onto lowest ownership, and Phil, the Egg Chaser, got 17.3% ownership, beating the FPL Affairs Hippo by 0.3%. So very tight there. And he finished with an overall ownership of 17.6. Obviously they got the best pick as well. They picked Keane, who got 11 points, who looks obviously a decent bargain, especially with Bramford still obviously coming back from injury. So he could be a potential option, especially how Everton are with set pieces. Looking at the differential teams for game week 7. So Alex, who is actually a Man United fan, has actually picked Rufus in goal. Obviously, he was outstanding in his in the last fixture, and obviously kept a clean sheet, and obviously got the save points, and also got bonus points as well. So he's also gone for a Botman, who thinks Forest are not really that lethal under Ange, and obviously with Europe as well, they're going to potentially struggle. Minter and Martinelli in midfield, and Watkins up front. Looked back to his best, he scored, and obviously looked a bit more livelier. Me, I've gone for a few gambles in there. I've gone Buendia in midfield is one that I think is going to be really good. Obviously, came off the bench and scored and assisted in the game uh, last week. I've gone for Cunha. Obviously, he excites me when he plays. He looked obviously last season with Wolves looked really good, and obviously he's had spells with Man United when he's been in playing well. Man United have been playing well. He's taken obviously that mantle off Bruno Fernandes, and due to Bruno has gone back into like a more central midfield role. I've also picked Anderson as well from a defender because obviously he is a DEFCON specialist, and obviously a half decent fixture with Bournemouth away. And Walter Maida as well, who I think is going to be in great form. Newcastle got some decent fixtures coming up as well, and I think he is definitely one to look at, especially if you've got João Pedro. Obviously, he's looked off the ball. He obviously got sent off in Europe as well. So Walter Maida might be obviously the other option, and also you'll save a bit of money as well. The voice of the people's team, he's gone for all Arsenal midfield with Zubimendi and Saka, and also picked Maguire in defence. Bit of a gamble with Maguire, but obviously we know what he can do. He is obviously solid in defence, but obviously with that, he is vulnerable to rotation. Looking at the differential kings for form for game week 6, the results were Rose, as we talked about. He got 10 points, did really well on that. With a, you could say a tricky fixture away at City grounds, but obviously they defended brilliantly. Isidore didn't really look himself, didn't get in amongst it, only got the 2 points. Gravenberch, like I mentioned, I thought he wouldn't get as many points as he did, and he managed to get actually 8. I was expecting DEFCON points at least as a minimum from him, but obviously he came up with an assist as well, so fair play to him. Then you've got Stack and Iwobi, only got the appearance points, so unfortunately for them, didn't do as much as I actually thought they would do, especially with obviously the current form that they was in. The form for game week 7, so these are the top few that that are obviously a differential under 5%. So Gravenberch is there again with a form of 8.7, 4.9% ownership. So his ownership has gone up, and also his value's gone up as well. Zubimendi at 6.7 against West Ham. Hopefully he can have some long range efforts against a revitalized West Ham team, especially with Nuno in charge. So that could be a trickier fixture. But because it's a home fixture, I still think Arsenal will get obviously the upper hand on them. But looking at previous history, West Ham have won the last 2 at the Emirates. Sunderland, I've gone for basically the triangle. So the two centre halves and the goalkeeper. They have looked solid in defence, and Roofs obviously with his save points as well. Alderete with the goal, and Mukulele with the DEFCON as well. So these could potentially be some good players there, and also very cheap as well. Alderete gone up as well, is now 4.1, but his form is incredible, 10. And obviously his ownership is obviously skyrocketed as well due to obviously Sunderland's great start of the season. Longstaff, it's a bit of a tricky fixture, but obviously as I keep mentioning, Ellen Road is a tricky place to go. They've got obviously aerial threat. Obviously Longstaff is a tall person like Stack, and obviously he can get amongst the goals as well. 4.9 million. I think he's definitely worth obviously a shout to look at if you want to, if you're playing like draft. He could be someone to bring in for that fixture. Minter, I think he's gonna be the one that obviously outshines all these players here. I've given him the throne at this moment of time. He's 5.9 million, and he has looked really exciting. So I think he would be the one that's going to get the most points, and hopefully I'm right to prove me correct for the next show. Differential Kings for the fixtures. So game week 6, we didn't really do that well, to be honest. Out of the 6, only one obviously did the business, but he was the one that I predicted was going to get the throne, and he definitely did by far. He obviously got the 10 points, as I mentioned. Doku, obviously with the draft, the five-a-side differential. Obviously the FPL guru picked that. But Doku has looked really good this season so far, obviously when he has played. And at 6.4, he's now gone up to 6.5. And I think he's going to potentially keep that form if obviously the Pep roulette doesn't hamper him. Beto, Foden, Xavi Simmons, and Bergval and Gibbs White just got the appearance fees, or they got the consolidated with a 1 point, either with a booking or coming off the bench. So bad on that front. So hopefully I can turn that around and actually pick some decent players this week with a good fixture. Talking about that, I have picked these 6 players. So fingers crossed that one of these can do the business. I've gone for Matoma and Welbeck from Brighton, who's got Wolves away. Yes, they did look very good against Tottenham defensively, but I think Brighton, how they've been playing the last two games, have looked really good going forward. Welbeck obviously came on and did the business, so I think he's going to potentially start this next game at 6.3 million, 2.1% ownership. I'm surprised he wasn't in any of our five-a-side teams. Matoma, we know how good he can be. 6.4 million. Obviously, he's gone down in value from the start, so I think he could be another good asset for Brighton. I know I've talked about the front three for Brighton, so hopefully one of them can actually perform. As I picked in my differential five-a-side team, I've gone for Buendia. I do like obviously how he plays, so fingers crossed he can do the business and obviously get the results that his form is actually coming up as at 5. Martinelli, 6.4 million. He's a bit of a finisher for Arsenal, as Arteta mentions. West Ham, I think he probably will start this next game. So fingers crossed that is what happens, and obviously he does the business. Cunha, as I mentioned earlier, obviously he looks the one player that gets on the ball and drives at the defense and causes the opposition problems. And Bergval, I really rate this kid. He gets in amongst it and also tries to get in amongst it with the goals as well. So hopefully one of them obviously performs, or well, more than one, and actually beats my predictions from the previous week. So that's it. That's all of them. So if you think of anyone that you might think who's going to actually beat any of these players, don't forget to comment with your suggestions, and also don't forget to like and subscribe to the video. And appreciate your time, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for now. Bye.
So how can you get in touch? Where can you find us? Our email address is lowercase fplaffairs@gmail.com. On X, our user handle is at FPL Affairs. Facebook, the group link is in our description on the YouTube video channel. And alternatively, you could search the Facebook group for FPL Affairs. We should pop straight up. Our YouTube channel is /at FPL Affairs, and the Spotify links are generally found at the bottom of the video, or on Spotify you could search up FPL Affairs. There may still be time to join our leagues if you haven't already. The Classic League code is 12RRCG, or the Classic code is lowercase I6NQNB. Unfortunately, the head-to-head league is now closed as the season has started. Thanks for that, Barry. Love the shouts this week. Those players in form, good DEFCON potential with Gravenberch and Zubimendi. I think if I was wildcarding this week, I'd likely include, and for a Newcastle fan to say this is quite something, I'd quite likely include a cheap Sunderland defender as my 5th choice. Probably Alderete. I can't. Apologies for my pronunciation. But even if you're going cheap goalkeepers, then Reeves would be a great shout for goalkeeper. Other than that, I'm a Longstaff fan. So for Leeds against Tottenham, good shout. As for the players with the fixtures, to be honest, I'm highly on the Martinelli off the bench shout for Arsenal, and Welbeck for Brighton. Mitoma, I believe I saw had a yellow flag on him earlier, but check the press conferences for that. Anyway, enough of me waffling. Thanks again, Barry. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe to our channel to get access and notifications of all our content. Anyway, good luck. And all that's left to say is keep your FPL affairs under wraps until, well, after our remaining 2 videos, which are released after this shortly. Bye bye from me.